right, let's pick up the pace. So reach your fingertips forward, spread your fingers really wide, and then press down through your fingers as you rise up to all fours. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up. Let's come forward into a plank. Tighten your elbows, tighten your knees here in your plank. Press down more through your fingertips. See if you can rotate the insides of your elbows forward as you press through your fingertips. Exhale, bending the knees as you move back, downward dog, gaze between your legs. Drop your heels, breathe into the back of your heart. Big stretch here through the backs of the legs, the back body, and the arms and shoulders. Pressing down through the hands, pressing down through the feet. Turn your tailbone up. Feel all that length move through your torso and let your body move a little bit like a slinky. Nice breaths here. Inhale, lift your heels up. Turn your heels over to the right. Drop them down to the right. Let your knees bend. Rooting through the bottoms of both feet. Well, the bottom of your left foot, and let your right heel lift. And then turn your left hip up towards the ceiling and maybe gaze across the room or out the window. And then just breathe as you press down through your hands and your feet. And now straighten both knees and come to the tips of both feet, okay? And then bend your knees and drop everything back down again. Back right heel is probably still lifted for you, just like mine. And then inhale, stretch again, lifting both heels, tighten the knees, and then press up through that left hip. You'll feel a nice little rotation in your low back. You can drop your head more. Exhale, drop both heels and bend your knees. Inhale, straighten your knees, straighten your feet back into downward dog, drop the heels. Inhale, turn the tailbone up, gaze straight down at the floor, press through your hands to press your butt up higher. Heels are lifted. Root through your fingertips. Inhale, pick the back of your heart up as you move forward into a plank. Breathe here, root through the fingertips, kneecaps tight. Rotate inner elbows forward, rock back and forth here. Strengthening, strengthening, strengthening. Exhale, bend the knees. Bring your belly towards your knees, drop your head, and then drop the heels, straightening the legs. Turn your tailbone up, lift your heels, drop your heels over to the left. We'll do the same thing on this side now. So like first your heels, they'll come down maybe. Well, mine do because I'm pretty flexible. But maybe yours don't, okay? But that's just what's going on. So maybe they do, maybe they don't. And then we want to bend our knees, and as we do that, the left knee will bend towards your face. And you're going to press down through both feet and let that right hip rotate up. And then you can gaze over to the right. You feel a stretch through the low back and the side body. Breathe. Bend the knees, lift both heels, straighten your knees, turn your tailbone up. That might be a lot for you. Do your best. Breathe, exhale, and then kind of drop the right heel, bend the knees, drop the hip a little bit. It's like you're kind of squatting. Inhale, lift your knees, turn your tailbone up, breathe, drop your head towards the mat. And then straighten your feet out. Drop both heels. Inhale, lift your heels, gaze forward, let your back slinky around or however you feel it into your plank. There's different levels, so let's actually go over that. Go back to downward dog. Drop your head, drop your heels, breathe. And then how I start, do your best to follow, is you're gonna turn your tailbone up and then lift the heels. And you'll feel it, it's a movement, it's like it's pulling. So as I turn my tailbone up, I feel it move through the backs of my legs, and then naturally my heels come along with it. So just try that a few times. Turning your tailbone up, you notice that your belly drops as you do that. And I feel the pull through the backs of my legs, it gets tighter in my calves, and so I naturally just want to lift my heels up. And then my torso starts to move forward. And as that happens, I kind of tuck my tailbone a little bit, and that starts to push the back of my heart into a rounded shape. and moving the rest of my torso forward. Okay, so let's go back to that place. Tailbone up, heels lift. And then once I'm here, I tuck my tailbones just slightly, just ever so slightly, and I feel the back of my heart round up, and then I move forward. And then I straighten my knees more, and I sort of push my pubic bone forward, and that kind of flattens out my plank. Admittedly, in the camera, it doesn't look super flat right now, but whatever. We'll move back to downward dog. Drop the heels. Let's do that again. So tailbone goes up, heels come up, rounding of the back happens, scooping of the tail. We're into a plank, but now we're gonna drop our heels over to the right again. We're gonna go back, move the hips back, bend the knees, lifting just the right heel in a squat position. Straighten the knees. Let's go forward to a plank, and then drop your heels over to the left. Same thing, bend the knees, heels lift. Or maybe one heel lifts, either way. You don't have to, and honestly, I just play around with lifting maybe one heel at a time or both. Because you want to just kind of feel like, where does your body need it? It's like adding a little bit of salt or pepper to your dish. Maybe it needs a little bit of more dropping of the heel. Inhale, lift both heels, round your back, come forward to a plank. This time with grace, ease, and gentleness. Bend your knees, hover them over the floor. I brought the tops of my feet down, but you don't have to. Gaze down between your hands. Pull your navel center in so your back rounds more. Lean forward into your hands. Gently set your knees down. Turn your tailbone up. Breathe into your heart. And we're gonna widen our knees, moving back. Burp. I burp a lot. I'm colicky. And then let's make some like circular kind of movement, something playful that feels good to you. Lose some of that tension. Maybe some squiggles. And then bend your elbows. Bring your torso forward and come down to the floor. Inhale your chest forward, shoulders back, just like we did earlier. Rotate your pinkies down to the floor, inner thighs upward. Press down through your pubic bone, gaze down the tip of your nose at the floor in front of you just a few inches. Come up onto your spider fingers now, rotate them slightly outward. Magnetize the elbows towards each other. Widen your hands out. Press down through your fingertips, lift your elbows up so they're over your wrists. Inhale up into your chest, feel that expansion. As you exhale, move the shoulders back and point the elbows back. Index fingers are pointing forward and down. Just be patient while you figure this out, because we do this stuff a lot. Inhale into the chest. Big expansion through the chest. Feel the chest get really large. And exhale, move the elbows back, press forward through the fingertips, gazing maybe more forward. We're trying to get the upper spine to open more, okay? On your next exhale, press down and out through your fingertips. Drop your head down, gaze towards your heart. Feel your shoulder blades close more. Breathe. Fill the chest. Scoop the tailbone down and feel your spine get longer in the middle of your back. Feel free to really make some more room as you breathe, like inside the torso. So let the arms move so that that expansion can happen. Keep pressing through the fingertips. Inhale, if you want to, lift your chest up. Rooting through the fingertips. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Drop the shoulders, bend the elbows, rotate the hands out more. Try to stay on your fingertips. Okay, but you really shouldn't be putting too much weight on your fingertips, okay? So if you can't and it hurts, you can bring your hands down. And the way to do that is you gotta use more of your body to actually lift instead of your fingers and your arms. Breathe into the chest, gaze forward, and then gaze over your left fingers.
Maybe straighten the elbows, press back more. Gaze over to the right fingers. Let your heart drop a little bit, elbows bend, shoulders back. Press back more through the spine, less through the arms. Breathe into the chest, push back, maybe straighten the arms. Big breath as you gaze forward and upward, maybe towards the ceiling. Exhale, gaze down at the heart. Bend the elbows, slowly melt down, gaze forward. Okay, stretch your hands out by dropping just the knuckles down and keeping the palm lifted. The knuckle of the thumb is also lifted. And then just gaze down and press through the knuckles. You'll feel the shoulders really light up in this. Gaze towards the heart center. Get some space in the back of your neck. Okay, slide your hands forward so that they're right in front of you. And index fingers parallel to one another. Straighten your arms and just let your belly melt towards the floor. Press down and forward through your hands and you'll feel a nice arc happen in your spine. Keep pressing down through the hands, keep breathing through the chest to get that expansion. Press, 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 press. Breathe. Press more, breathe more. Feeling your arms lighting up a lot. Don't hold any kinks in anything. So if you feel something kind of tightening or getting weird, just kind of like gently move away from it, gracefully move away from it. Don't engage with that conflict. Breathe, 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 breathe. Oh yeah, breathe, oh yeah. Sorry, that was like another level for me. Something happened there, it was good. Okay, stretch the arms even more forward. Keep your head lifted as you stretch, dropping the heart. This should feel super nice. And then maybe your elbows will come down and you can press them a little bit more, get a little extra length in your back. Press down through your arm bones and hands. Slide back, lifting up through the chest, sliding the hands in. Press down, inhale, open. Exhale, drop the elbows down so they're right underneath your shoulders. Index fingers parallel to one another. Rotate inner thighs upward. Press down through the pinky toes. Tighten your kneecaps and thighs. Breathe. Move the shoulders back. Gaze forward. Be the Sphinx. Engage the claws into the earth. Press down through the elbows, lift up more through the chest. Breathe, breathe. Okay, let's have a little bit more fun. So now you're gonna lift your right hand up and you're gonna place it where your left elbow is. And then you're gonna lift your left arm up and out to the side. And then you're gonna press your body over onto your right hips and just let that stretch move. The legs will cross or maybe they don't. Inhale, come back as you came in. Ooh. Gaze forward, don't move your arms, heart forward. Inhale, same thing, lift it up. This time, step your left leg behind you and let your hips open. And then really breathe into your chest where you get some good stretches in there. Exhale, back the way you came in. Gaze forward. Keep your arms right where they are. Okay, now bend your left leg, pointing the toe up. And then you're gonna do the same thing and you're gonna rotate over. And this time you're gonna set that foot down. See how I just like did in this kind of sexy way. And then you're gonna lift your left arm up, lift up through the chest, and scoop the back of your head. Articulate the right toes, press down through the right pinky toe. And then move your chest forward as you arc your back in this very sexy, excessively sexy kind of way. Because it feels, oh, good. Let that move, and then we'll come back. This time, bring your arms back to the way that they were. Sphinx. Line everything back up. Place your left hand where your right elbow is, and then your right hand comes out. Use your spider fingers if you can or don't. And then you're just gonna rotate the hips back, and the legs, ooh, yeah, the legs might cross. Or maybe they won't. Gaze, breathe, breathe, gaze. Inhaling as you come back. Keep the arms right as they are. That's a different kind of stretch right there. Keeping them like this and then gazing forward, moving the chest forward. Inhale, come back again. This time, stepping your foot behind you. And then stretching. And you can move this arm too. I don't know why I'm being so controlling with you guys about that one. Do what you want to do here. And this is just starting to open up, I almost said a dirty word, your regions. Ooh, yeah. So just kind of slinky through these things. These things should feel good. Don't do anything too crazy if you're not used to doing these kinds of things. Like me, I do this stuff all the time, so I can get pretty wild with it. Okay, so now we're gonna come back over. Keep your arms as is. Breathe. Pour more breath onto it. Sweet cherry pie. And then lift your right toes up, point them up. And this time, lift it back. Set it back. Open your chest up. Scoop the back of your head up. Articulate the left toes and breathe. Delicious. Sweet cherry pie. Oh yeah. I grew up watching videos like that because my parents were inappropriate. I hope they're watching. And here too, you can get some expansion through that chest, okay? So like make room between the fronts of your shoulders and get the chest really, really open. Delicious. Move over, back over. Bring that Cadillac back. Okay. Set your hands out wide, walk them in, and get another little extra stretch here. Let's do some low lunges. I feel like low lunges. Okay, so you can either press your knees down or you can tighten your knees and just press the floor away, come up into a plank, downward dog. Stretch. Okay, maybe step your left foot forward and extend your right leg up high. Three-legged dog. Breathe. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Ooh, yeah. Swing it to the front door. Swing it to the... You can no more. Back knee down. Inhale. Place your hands on top of your knee. Begin the low lunge stretch. You'll feel that right through the front of your left thigh here. Sweet cherry pie. Okay, so with your hands on top of your knee, let your hips move a little bit forward. See how my back toes are tucked under? You can do that here, unless it doesn't feel good, you can bring the top of the foot down. And just feel some stretching action here. Okay. Rotate your right foot out wide. Bring your left hand wide fingertips, index fingers point away from you. Place it down, hand on knee, a little deeper stretch here. So I've got my hand on my hip, you can place it on your knee, and let the knife edge of your foot kind of press down and the inner edge rotates up. Lift your arm up perhaps. Move your hips back if you want to. A little bit of back and forth action. Scoop the skull, open the heart, elbow open wide. Breathe, move, breathe. Move. Reach through your right hand down to the mat. Let your front leg straight and turn your toes up. Forward, fold in a lunge squat. Breathe. Breathe and turn your tailbone up. Bend your right knee a little bit and dig through that heel, and you'll feel a lot more length happen if you have more capacity to give here in your hamstrings. And if you don't, you don't yet. It's like a savings account, you gotta work towards it. All right, so now we're gonna move forward. Both hands, both paws on the floor, right foot down. And then drop those hips forward again for a little more sweet cherry pie. Okay, press now through your hands for me. Press through your hands. Back toe tucked under, and then lift the knee up. Here we go, just like so. A lot of stretches happening here. Sweet cherry pie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, now press back, let the toes turn up, and just see what happens here. Don't pick on yourself about the length, just let it happen. Sweet cherry pie. Okay, now try to get some good solid foundation with that left foot. Press down through your hands and swing your right leg back up through the front door. So you can't swing it anymore. The lyrics are slowly coming back to me from the memory of my childhood. And this one lady who got on the bus a few weeks ago. She just was like, got on the bus and she had a little radio and she was like, she was singing it all over the bus to like everybody. It was kind of cool. Oh yeah. So I've got my knee bent because that gives me more stretch in the front of my right thigh here. This one, whoops. And then I'm also bending my standing knee because I can. Because I'm hypermobile, I got a lot of extra stretch going on. I've been doing this for a long time, but you might not be there yet. You might be like, ah! And that's okay, because I was also there a very long time ago. So bend the knee, stretch it up, and then lengthen your leg, and with control, grace, like a swan, step your right foot back down to downward facing dog. Inhale, both heels up at the same time. Round the back, press to the fingers, coming forward into a plank. It's like NASCAR, race cars. Okay, excuse me. And then bend the elbows or bend the knees too, up to you. Come down to the floor. Inhale, ooh, lift up. Gaze behind you to the left. Gaze behind you to the right. Gaze behind you so you can't no more. Press down to the knees, tailbone leads you back, slinky style. Inhale, round the back, rushing forward again. Hips might drop, but then they don't. Tailbone turns up and you go swinging back again. Press down through the hands as you pull that rounded back forward once more. Tailbone goes up, leads you back. Press through the balls of your feet, downward facing dog. Back at it. Step your right foot forward, root down through that right foot as you lift your left leg up high. Breathe. While being high, breathe. Breathe, lengthen and feel. Sweet cherry. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Bring the back knee down. Rise up. Hands to knee. Feel that stretch starting to happen here. I love it because I do a lot of weightlifting stuff. So these muscles are like, please stretch me. Stop expecting me to do everything all the time. Give me a little bit of length here sometimes. Hands to your front knee. Let your hips move forward. Back foot can be tucked or not, whatever feels right for you. Breathe, breathe, breathe. comes out. Spread the fingers wide. Index finger points away from you. Root it outward. Heel toe your left foot out. Let the inside of the foot rotate out. Let the hips drop. We're going to open this thing up. Maybe lift the arm. Slinky your way through the movements. We're not trying to jack anything. Okay, this is a graceful kind of creamy movement. Let it happen. The left hand's going to go behind the head if you can, scooping everything up and moving your heart vibrations through your face. Heart vibes through the face. Okay, now lengthen your left hand out and bring it down to the floor in front of you as you lengthen your left leg. Okay, and then just let this fold kind of come to you at whatever stage it's at. Ooh, dig through the heel, bend the knee, and gaze through your navel center. Turn the tailbone up. You can rotate the hip a little bit side to side and feel that motion happening. It's like a blender. This is really good. Ooh. And so I've worked with a lot of different bodies, and some bodies, typically male-bodied bodies, tend to be a little bit tight in this area, and it doesn't feel as awesome. So I hear you. I do hear you, but when you do an arm balance, I don't feel bad for you, because male bodies can be very good at that, and I'm not jealous at all. I'm a nice person. So just work with where you're at and breathe. Feels really good right now for me. Ooh, I found something. Ooh, okay. Moving on. Okay, so we're gonna come forward with hands both in front of you. Okay, I'm gonna move my knee back because I realize I need that. And then I'm gonna lean forward with my hips. Get another stretch, more stretch. More breath, more stretch. More breath, more stretch. Ooh. Okay, now with the back toes tucked under, pressing down through your hands, lift and straighten the back knee. More stretch breath. Breathe. Pressing through the hands like you're in a plank. Pretend you're in a plank. Breathe into the back body. Feel the back of your spine lift towards the ceiling. And then move your hips back. Let that front leg straighten. Well, mine never straightens because I have muscle. But I just take it to its capacity right now, you know? I could probably force it, but I don't want to because I'm already getting a really good stretch and I love it. I'm happy here. I don't need more. I'm not trying to impress people, you know? I'm just not. So just breathe and feel where you're at. Sweet cherry pie. Sway to the back toe, sway to the right. So now we're gonna press through the hands. We're gonna slide that left leg up. Yes, Jesus. Say Jesus. Say his name. Breathe. 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 So press down through your hands and feel how your spine lengthens. Feel how you get more length in your shoulders when you press down through your hands, okay? And then if you want to, you can bend the knee, drop the right heel, bend the right knee. I mean, this is like if you're super stretchy already, if you got Gumby stuff already happening. But these are also little bus stops and options for you to work with, okay? Because something might feel good while another thing maybe doesn't. Okay, we've got options. Breathe. 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 Breathe and feel. Slowly, with grace, like a swan. Like a swan, lower the left leg. Hover the foot over the earth. And then gently and intentionally set the foot down.
I'm posting this on YouTube. So drop the heels, let the knees bend. Oh, sorry. So let the knees bend if you can. So if you're hypermobile, which this isn't necessarily hypermobility, it's just if you're, if you can't even if your heels don't come down, actually. Okay, so if your heels are, I'm gonna keep my heels lifted. And then I want you to bend your knees intentionally, if they aren't already. And then press your hands down and press your feet. Okay, that didn't work. Just try it again. So you're gonna press the feet down and back, okay? Just do that. And then turn your tailbone up and then press down through your hands, down and forward through the hands. Does that make sense? Let's try it one more time. Here's a regular downward dog. I'm gonna lift my heels up intentionally a few inches. So the balls of my feet are on the floor. And then I'm gonna bend my knees. I'm gonna turn my tailbone up and then I'm gonna press this way through my feet, okay? Towards the back of the mat. Boom. Tailbone goes up more. And press now through my hands to articulate that even more. Get even more. More. Oh, yes. Inhale, bringing the back of the heart up. Coming forward, like gaze forward. Walk your feet forward. Walk them forward. And then bow over your toes. Breathe here to what is. And then we're going to slowly drag the head and arms up. All the way to standing. And there we are. So now that class is done, you can lay down on your back and take a little moment to be where you're at and enjoy yourself. And I hope you liked this class, and thanks for joining me. I'm sorry about the fart, but it is yoga, and these are wind relieving poses. So thank you for being here. I don't know where to look right now. Is it there or there? Have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.